been the
Three,
best. It's always
two,
giving us our time.
one.
Morning. Jake always gives me 2 or 3 more of those than I want. Shut it off, bro.
Anytime the recording starts, the 3, 2, 1's actually like it starts 3, 2, 1 actually when it gets to 1. So, but today, welcome. We are here with Chad Hedrick and Mike Otto. This guy. And Jake Hooley, or however you pronounce my name. But I'm excited about it today. We were just talking right before this, and we were getting a little bit of a background on Chad. And we were like, wait, we got to stop. The story is perfect. So, well, I'm excited because we're going to dig in. Chad's been with us at Market Maker here for probably about a month or so. But he's got a super interesting past life before real estate. And, we're going to dig into that today.
Yeah, so and just let me piggyback off that. So Chad had reached out to me via Facebook Messenger, told me about some success that he had on Market Maker early, and I had reached out and had a phone call with him. And Chad is what you would call a rising star. So I love to have the ability to have an interview or conversation earlier on, so I can always say, hey, I knew you win, even though you're doing a great deal of business right now, I just I see really big things for you in the future, and I wanted to start by going through some of your past, which is where we started. We're like, oh, hold that thought. Let's get this thing going because it's an interesting background. The other cool thing that Chad mentioned is I'm located in Springfield, Missouri, and he said I've been there several times. So let's pick up right where you left off. We were talking about your background in skating. And you've been in the Olympics. You've won some medals, and we were at the very beginning with the roller skating and inline skating. So tell us about that, if you would.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. First of all, I enjoy chatting with you guys, Mike. We had a good conversation. I grew up here in North Houston. My dad, our family business was a roller rink. And so I learned how to roller skate on the traditional, conventional roller skates at 16 months old.
Wow.
And so my childhood was filled with a pocket full of tokens and eating junk food, skating 6 to 8 hours a day at the roller rink. That was my life. And I figured out real quick, and everybody in our little community figured out real quick that I had a real skill and that I was blessed with a talent. I just lived for fast skates and the races and trying to win a cup of popcorn that I already got free anyway. It was it's kind of a really, really small town story, but I just loved to skate. I grew up, in the rink, and so we started traveling all across Texas at a young age, and then started traveling. I think at 8 years old, we started traveling all across the country, racing on these conventional roller skates. I did it just for fun with my friends. When I was 14 years old, inline skates came out, and we figured out very quickly that those skates were much faster than the conventional skates. And you guys remember, everybody had rollerblades in their garage. Everybody owned a pair, right? And so it was kind of the craze at the end of the 90s there. And I would tell people what I did. I was actually world champion for 10 straight years on inline skates, traveled to 42 different countries starting at 16 years old, made 6 figures for the first time at 19 years old with numerous sponsors and designing products and everything. I'd go to the sporting goods store, and all the inline skating wheels were designed by me, and it was just a crazy little road. But at the end of the day, I would tell people what I did, and they had no clue what world champion inline speed skater was. So at 25 years old, I decided to move to Salt Lake City, Utah, and I started ice speed skating, which was strange for a boy from Texas. And ended up hitting a wall and just, man, I've been the best for such a long time, and going and trying something new was a big challenge. And it was kind of humbling because I wasn't the best, and I was just another face in the crowd when I started. But I had a point where I decided, hey, I could either quit or I can fight and I can make it happen. And I continued to fight. I qualified for the national team in 6 months, and I became world champion after 17 months on the ice.
That's insane.
It's unbelievable. Right. Yeah, it's really cool. Now, I just have a personal question because I really loved, inline skates, rollerblades, right? And I always had the one with the ankle support. You probably didn't. You probably had the one that were. Which ones did you have? Is my question.
Yeah, so they're lower cut. They have 5 wheels. It's a bigger wheels. They're really fast. I mean, we would go up to 40 miles an hour on inline skates. I mean, it was crazy. I'd travel to Europe every other weekend doing these marathon races. Sometimes we'd do marathons that were under an hour. So it's pretty fast. And
Yeah.
it was a big sport across Europe and South America, but really here it was just more of a recreational thing. And so I had to find something that, in all honesty, I wanted the recognition for all my hard work. I'd worked my whole life for this, and I wanted to be able to display that. And I was able to do that when I qualified for the 2006 Olympics in Torino, Italy. And I had the pleasure of participating in the first event of that Olympics and winning the first gold medal for our country.
Nice. Congratulations, man. Yeah, that's so cool. I was just thinking, like, I was such a fanatic because I didn't know the inline skate story of rollerblading as a kid. You might have designed my rollerblades. You might have had like your fingers all over. It's amazing how small the world can be sometimes. You just never know. I think Veriflex or something was the main brand back then. I don't even remember now.
So the only pair that I actually remember were like convertible ones that you could turn into rollerblades, ice skates, or like they had these little skis, and I had big enough feet where those could actually keep me up. But in Illinois, that was very versatile. Just as I'd like to say, you could actually use all three, but I doubt they were built for speed.
Yeah, just I listened to you guys, and I spent my whole life doing this, and I would tell people what I did, and they really just had no idea what it really was because they hadn't seen it in person. But it was a different childhood. I stopped public school at my sophomore year, went to private school. I had a different life as a teenager. I put my sport and my goals ahead of everything. And at the time, I probably missed out on a lot of fun with my friends. But at the end of the day, standing on top of that podium with a gold medal around my neck, it was definitely a feeling that was well worth it. And all that dedication and sacrifice there was success behind it all.
Absolutely, man. And I love that.
I want to piggyback that because this is actually like possibly my dream come true in terms of like a question and answer session, because like I don't know how many times I've preached this to real estate agents that like if you want to be a gold medalist, you have to train like a gold medalist with anything you want to do. And I feel like a lot of people want to have that like mecca that they hit in the real estate business, right? But the work that they're willing to put in is nowhere near it. And like, we actually have a gold medalist on here. So like, what was that train? Like you had to dedicate you left school. You're traveling internationally at a very young age, sacrificing so much to your craft, to be the best of the best. Like, can you kind of give a little bit of an insight of how much work that actually was? Like there's talent, but then you got to put the work in.
Yeah. So one thing I'd like to say, in my sport, for example, the difference between first and second could be 0.02 seconds. So every day, every bit of effort, everything that you do each day compiles, and it could be the difference of spending 4 years, or if not your whole life, to be part of that Olympic team and to be able to win a gold medal. So when I think in that perspective, it changes everything, because getting a listing, getting a buyer, creating a new relationship, all these little things in real estate are the difference between going to the title company for a closing or just being another guy that was another realtor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, it's been really, really important to be able to take that mentality. And I got to tell you, I mean, I was a very confident athlete. I stepped to the line and I knew that I'd put the work in to be a champion, to win. And one thing that blew me away about this business that's sometimes still a struggle is that sometimes I continue to compare myself to other people that have been in the business longer, or that are doing this thing to build their business, or have a billboard here on the freeway, or whatever they're doing that differs from me. And it's like me going to the starting line and looking at everybody else's legs and skates like already defeated, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you feel that way, and you're naturally, as a human, you're going to feel that way. There's going to be, things that you feel there's holes in your business. But ultimately, if you focus and do the things that you need to do and show up at the race, you're going to be prepared and ready to go. So it's, there's some humility in that, and just, worrying about what you do and not what everybody else is doing.
I think that's really interesting. I was showing my little brother last night an interview with Jeff Bezos. He's got a company he's starting, and Jeff Bezos says that his key to success has been an emphatic focus on the customer. He said, I talk to CEOs about this all the time, and they'll pretend to focus on the customer, but really they're always focused on the competition. He said, we don't pay any attention to the competition. We just completely just dial in, focused on the customer, and that. There's a lot of wisdom in that, and it's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. When I'm riding my bike every Saturday, 100 miles in the mountains of Utah, when I was training, I wasn't thinking about a gold medal. I was thinking about getting the edge. I was thinking about just a little more effort. And I think that can translate into relationship building and focusing on the deal, not the finances that are attached to it or the result, but just the deal, because the deal is the relationship, and the relationship turns into more relationships. And I think that's something that's a focus for me and my business.
I love it. How long have you been? You haven't been in the business long, which is what you shared with me during our original call. How long have you been in the business?
Just short of 4 years. And we started a group called the Gold to Sold Group out here outside of Houston. And man, we bring Olympic excellence to real estate, and all these things that we're talking about, all these being relentless, sacrifice, dedication, all these things that transfer from sport into real estate to give me an edge. Everybody needs an edge, right? We have to find a way, how we've been blessed personally, to have an advantage on anybody in the business. And so that's my edge. My edge is the desire to win. But what I found in the business is my desire to win when I was an Olympian has turned into my desire for my clients to win and finding the home or the property that they're dreaming about,
That's awesome. In your first year, I mean, you did way better than I did my first year. You said you did around 5 million. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Now, in my defense, I did I think 2 million my first year, but that was so long ago.
Yeah.
What would the equivalent be? I didn't think about that.
Well,
that makes me feel a little better. But you smashed it your first year. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's been some growth, but it's been just slowly but surely, if you will. And there's been obstacles along the way. You can work as hard as you want, but if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you're just banging your head against the wall. So I've had to bring in get a lot of wisdom from people around me, a lot of coaches and a lot of different people, just to really invest in me personally and my business to be able to direct this desire to win, this desire to build the business, because sometimes you just feel like you're just like, you're like, we're not seeing any growth. Am I doing the right thing? What should I be doing? How should I be managing my time? And that's been the big struggle for me. I mean, it continues to be a struggle. So I'm trying to channel that and understanding how I build efficiently.
Well, what was interesting to me was just the fact that you reached out. I mean, so many people don't do that. A lot of the success that I had was just reaching out to people who were so much, more successful than me in the business. And the best ones, the ones that were the most successful, would be like, yeah, what do you want to know? I'll tell you, And the ones who weren't, didn't do that, I just keep on going and try to find, like you said, that direction. What they did. If someone else can do it and I can see them doing it, well, then I have a much greater shot of being able to accomplish it myself, And I think that
over the past 2 weeks, I've met with 2 realtors who are big time here in Houston. I've been able to have the chance to sit down with them, talk about the mistakes that they made when starting, talk about the things that they think they did right, as I continue to put vital pieces into my team, into my group, if you will. I don't want to have a large group team, but I want to have the right people that have a loyalty. We have a family type atmosphere. We have people that are athletic minded, people that don't like to lose. Those are the people that I'm looking for. But scaling the business is difficult, and if you make some wrong choices along the way, not only will it affect you financially, but it also is a hindrance as far as your time management and what you're putting your time into.
Yeah.
And so
it can be discouraging as well.
Yeah. And if you're bringing the wrong people on that aren't like-minded and it doesn't represent your brand and who you are, it's a reflection of you. So right now I'm really reaching out to a lot of people to get wisdom, as we enter year 4 here.
Yeah, well, and doing what you did got you to where you are. If you want to get to where you want to go, you got to do something different. Which, obviously, you worked on Market Maker. What attracted you to Market Maker?
Well, there were 3 different platforms that I was looking at, and I got in touch with Wally there at your organization, and man, I just felt like there was a personal connection. I felt like, he even offered to do some coaching on the side for me for free to get me going to build this up and make sure that I'm doing the things that are needed to continue to grow. And I think when I talk to these people from any company like Market Maker, they see that I have a desire to excel, and I think that's fun for them to have clients that want to succeed, because there's real fruits from it, rather than just finding a platform that provides opportunity and connects you with people that you're really not engaging with and using the system as it can be used.
Absolutely. I think that one of the bigger struggles for us is finding people who are coachable, and we'll implement different strategy and tactic. And I think that your background, obviously, the value of being coachable and having someone, help you along that path and give you that track to run on. And so that's the most exciting thing for us, is when we have somebody who is humble enough to be coachable and try a different way, and my pushback is always, hey, you were obviously looking for something when you came to us. Now, finish the job and let us put you on this path. Don't, try it before you give resistance. Be open-minded, to things, for example, like the script that we give folks when they connect with these appointments. We'll get pushback sometimes from agents. They'll say, I've been doing this 20 years. I don't need a script. Well,
it's created for a reason.
How's it working for you?
It's They don't know how you're going to use it. They don't know how you're going to target these potential clients. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? Of course, I can make my own stuff up, but is it going to make sense with the follow-up program and the processes that you have in place? And obviously, there's a science to it. You've been doing it for a long time, so I trusted that you guys. I'm paying you guys. I trusted that you guys know what you're doing. And I'm a big fan of, hey, you let people do what they're qualified to do, and you do what you're qualified to do, and we can make a team and we can have success.
That's so smart. So I want to ask you, because I already forgot specifically. You had reached out and you told me exactly what had happened in the first 30 days. Would you share that with everybody, what you had shared with me initially?
Yeah, I've been on the program less than 2 weeks now. And
okay, wow.
I just I looked at my dashboard this morning. I've had 6 appointments and 65 new contacts. I took those 65 contacts, I added them to my Gold Medal Monday newsletter that goes out every Monday at 4:30 p.m. It's created 65 new contacts, which my goal is to build it up to 5,000. I'm at about 2,500 now. So not only am I utilizing this as a lead generation resource to create relationships for those that are ready to buy or sell, but I'm also creating a relationship and becoming a trusted advisor locally with these names and contact emails that I'm getting. So I've got appointments that are being set, and then I also have a way to continue to build my contact list, which is going to create more market share. The more contacts I'm connecting with on a weekly basis that show that I'm an advisor or I'm a dedicated realtor in the area that never fails, that every Monday they're going to see that there's a custom written advisory type message for them that's going to help them when they're ready to buy or sell. Man, it's gonna spark my business, and I can't wait. I mean, I can only imagine when I have 1,000. You know, I've been here 2 weeks with 65, so that's 30 a week over a 1 year period. That's me having 1,500 new contacts to my contact list.
Yep. And what we call those are your audience, right? Those are people who are tuned in, paying attention to you, that have volunteered, raised their hand, said, hey, I'm over here and I'm thinking about buying a house in your particular market, or on the flip side, selling a house. But those first 6, like, you had some success with one of those appointments, and that was what you had written to me in the Facebook Messenger. What was that?
Yeah, I'm meeting with a family next week. He owns a property that's about 575,000. He wants to sell it, and he's looking for a property anywhere from 2 to 5 acres that is up to 750. So it's about 1.3 million in the first 2 weeks that I've connected with somebody, and I have a legit opportunity to make 30,000+ in commissions in my first 2 weeks with Market Maker.
That's phenomenal. Well, circle back with me when you close the deals, because I want to know. And make sure you market them closed in the platform too, so we can keep track with you, man.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the beauty of the whole thing, Mike. The whole thing is, okay, for me, for example, I know there's a lot of people that are kind of scared to go and make an investment in their business. Maybe they're selling a home a month, or maybe they're selling a home every other month or whatever, but you have to invest in yourself. But what I did is I utilized partnerships and resources that I have locally, whether it's a lender or whether it's somebody who trusts in me and believes in me and knows that I have a business that's going to evolve, and creating partnerships with those people to be able to offset the costs to do it. Because this is trackable, you can show that partner exactly what's going on, and you can show the new relationships that you're building and the success that you're having. And ultimately, you know, after a 3-month period, you can say, hey, this is working. This isn't working. I'm going to continue, or I just need to find something else. And from what I've seen so far, with just 2 deals in 2 weeks coming, I'm excited about the future. And Mike, you were telling me like these contacts, these 66 that are in there right now, that they are just going to continue to multiply because you're retargeting them and you're creating opportunity. And once that gets to 400, 500, 600 people in that pipeline and we're targeting, who knows what the opportunities are that are going to come.
Well, yeah, what happens is you'll hit a point where you have enough contacts in there, and you're so saturated in your market, your reputation precedes itself, and people just know who you are, and they know what you do, and they know you're an expert as far as real estate in the community is concerned. And that's the most fun place to be in the business because it eliminates a lot of the things that really just kind of suck in the industry. And so I'm excited for that for you for sure. I think that. The main thing is, like you said, most people are afraid to invest, and it takes time. I mean, if you're looking at all the other opportunities out there, like you mentioned, a billboard, it costs about the same amount as a platform, but what do you really get from it? It's not trackable. You don't know. I made that mistake. I always tell the story. I put a billboard up in my market when I was, I don't know, maybe 22. And I thought because my mom told me I was handsome, like people would call my billboard. Like I just believed her, you know what I mean? Thanks, Mom, for not telling me the truth. But you know what I mean? Like I thought that would work, man, and it didn't work. I remember I was at church, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, man, I saw your billboard." And he was a prominent business owner in the community. And I was like, "Oh, thank you." He's like, "Hey, I got my house for sale in the Villages, which is a fancy, neighborhood." I'm like, "All right, here we go." And he's like, "I just listed it with local mega agent. Maybe you can sell it." And I was like, "Oh man, I got to find a better way," And I don't think. Yeah, for me, there isn't a better way than attracting people to you, based on their own free will. You know what I'm saying? And having them, come to you as a lead. And I think that the main thing that most agents forget is the fact that these are people. These are people filling out this form. They're not leads. They're not, some obscure thing out here in the digital universe. I mean, they're human beings in your market that are trying to find information about, purchasing or selling a home. And I think that just escapes us because of, in my opinion, people get desensitized, because of the internet. And it really concerns me right now with all these kids staying home and being on screens, some of them 8 hours a day. You lose like that reality of the fact that on the other end of this thing is a human.
Yeah. And the coolest thing to think about it is these opportunities are a chance to build a team, to build opportunity, to help others around you, to be able to provide a career for people that want to hustle. And, if you want to do that and build a small team and utilize these contacts that you're building, this investment can be very, very beneficial in a short amount of time.
Absolutely. That's when you go from personal growth to contribution. And I think that's when your business really, really takes off. When you get the focus off of you, and I always call, agents on the team or even employees in a business, the internal customers. You take care of the internal customers first. They're going to take care of the external customers, and you're going to have a real vibrant business that way.
Well, yeah, fulfillment through helping people with the clients, but you also get a sense of fulfillment by providing opportunity for those within your crew, and that's kind of the part that I haven't experienced to a great degree at this point, but I'm hoping that, with Market Maker and with, my work ethic that I'm going to get there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I was trying to find, you were saying it earlier, I was trying to find the Energy Bus, that book. When you get the right people, on the bus, it's just more fun too. You know what I mean? Like I'm somebody that thrives off of other people's energy, and like I'm a competitive guy. I used to run ads for salespeople that said like former athlete, just because I love that.
Individual wanted.
Sports-minded. Yep, that was probably career builder 101 for me.
That was combined insurance, man. Yeah. I forgot to tell you about that, Chad. Run an ad that says that. Sports-minded individual wanted. That's a good thing.
It
yeah,
is.
for sure. In fact, I met with two girls last week. They're 24 and 25. One just passed her test yesterday. They're both, I gave them the disc test. They're high D's, ready to go. Just, man, great girls, driven. and they're going to be two that I bring on here next. And with this platform and with my newsletter going out, we're gonna build something, and these girls are going to start off and have opportunity.
The women are the fiercest competitors. Let me tell you. I mean, just unbelievable. I wanted to tell you a tip before I forget with that newsletter. You might consider sending out a no ring voicemail just after you send it, just prefacing it a bit. Hey, this is Chad. Just sent you out our Monday gold
Medal Monday.
Gold Medal Monday newsletter. In it, we're talking about XYZ. Hope you check it out. Thanks so much. Make it a great day. And that'll drop directly to their voicemail, so it won't interrupt their day. But it should increase consumption of the newsletter.
Well, if I'm sending it out like at 4:30 p.m. on Monday afternoon, I could do that call there and leave a voicemail on like Monday before lunch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, you could send it. You could have the call go out at 4:35, and so just submit a ticket and they'll walk you through it. But it's super simple. You just go select all, no ring voicemail, have it queued up, pre-record it, choose which one you want, and it'll go out. And I would make it custom for each newsletter, because I assume you're writing the content anyway, so you're putting in the work. So it'd just be a little extra step, probably take you 5 minutes. Studies show that a phone call after a direct marketing piece like that increases the again consumption tremendously. And the thing is, for the consumer, although most people are pretty smart these days as far as digital marketing is concerned, they'll feel really special that they got that voicemail specific from you in addition to that newsletter. So I just wanted to give you that tip since you're doing that. And I wanted to tell you too, congratulations, because putting in that extra work, putting out that content, that's what builds relationships today. And it's some of the work that we don't see many agents do. I think it's not because of laziness. It's because of lack of clarity in specifically what to do. And then sometimes there's fear in putting yourself out there,
Yeah, for sure. And the topics have to be something that's tangible, whatever's going on, not just market updates, but also meeting them in a personal way and understanding, with COVID, for example, or now here with our hurricane that we have coming through, preparing for that, all these good things that you can relate with the person directly. Because anybody can say, oh, the market's down 13% and this price point, da-da-da-da-da. But, that stuff gets old.
And because you have a specific area of Houston that you're covering, like any of the local stuff, like a new restaurant, like the more things that are pertinent, like, oh, that was helpful, you know what I mean? Or like school games or any of that stuff, new builders, I mean, like any of that stuff goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. We've got this local toffee store. It's called the Toffee Cellar. And I'm actually going in there over the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to make toffee, and I'm going to video it as one of my favorite places to hang out in the area. So I'm going to put the hat on and everything. I'm going to roll it. It's going to be awesome.
Well, make sure you're uploading it to the blog and the platform as a video blog, syndicating it, and I can walk you through some of this, or the team can, because that'll help you with the SEO stuff we were talking about, especially if it's specific localized content like that nobody's going after. It's really amazing how fast that'll compound. So, because you can syndicate it too to Facebook, YouTube, all with the click of a button, right? And just push that content out there. And you absolutely should if you're taking the time to make it. The hardest thing, like we built all these amazing tools for this stuff, was getting agents to do it. Chad, they didn't want to do it. And I was like, oh man, I'm not trying to change the consumer's habit. Let's just figure out what they want to do and make it easier for them. But if you do it, it's definitely the long game, and it's a huge asset for your business in the long term. As far as if you want an exit strategy, sellability, like all those type of things, it's really valuable. And of course, it lives forever because the internet is written in ink. So it just gives you a long term foundation in your marketplace. And if you look, I mean, there's not many agents that do that. So it's usually pretty soft ground still.
Yeah. I'm excited. We'll see. I mean, if things continue to compound after just 2 weeks. I mean, I had 2 calls yesterday One just wanted to refinance, but you know what? He didn't want to buy or sell, but that's a new relationship I have. And I took him to my preferred lender, and that's we're going to be a team in the future. I don't know what that looks like at this point, but there's a relationship that's there now.
Absolutely. Well, to be completely transparent, usually we don't expect much, in the way of traction, success, until after about 90 days. So the fact that you had some success already is really cool, and I really appreciated you reaching out to me and sharing it, and I appreciated making the relationship as well, and in your history. Like I said, it's super cool. If you get back to Springfield, like I said, let's go have lunch. I know it's not a destination necessarily, so but if it suits, and likewise if I'm down in Houston for sure, or even Dallas, Jake's in Frisco area, so. I really appreciate having you on. I know we've kind of ran over here, Jake, and I want to be respectful of Chad's time as well. But man, so cool, so excited for the future with you, and super excited to build this relationship together too as we go. So thank you for being so gracious and coming on with us and just sharing some of your success and the things that you found in life to be the person that you are today.
Yeah, thank you. I hope we can revisit in 6 months here and talk about this road and what it looks like and how this transformed my business in that short frame of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We'll definitely do a follow-up on this. Well, thanks
Hey,
so much.
I got one more thing to show you guys. Hold on one second.
Dude.
Check it out.
Oh, hold it up.
Oh,
That's awesome. I can't
That's
believe it.
unreal.
That's much bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, each one of them have their own design. For each
We should have started with that. That's so
Should have
cool.
started with that. But do you just wear it around sometimes on like Saturdays?
Under my shirt. Just kidding.
That's
I don't know.
guys.
I might not be able to help it. I probably would.
right. Just
I
with
live in
the
pool.
big song going on in the background too, just walking around the house.
Oh, man.
Well, hey, I enjoyed talking to you guys. I look forward to reconnecting with you and hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Likewise, brother. You as well. And just real quick, before we sign out, if you'd like some help with any of this stuff, go to marketmakercall.com. Check us out. Find out how we generate leads for you, nurture those leads in a way that elevates your status of authority in the mind of those leads, and then ultimately delivers them to your calendar as an appointment. Again, it's marketmakercall.com. Plug over. Let's get out of here, Jake.
Peace. As we always say, you're always just one preposition appointment away.
Every day. Thanks
Every day.
again, Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.